boom, boom. About to go live. Going live. How's everybody doing? Just got back from a ride. 2 p.m. Haven't done a live stream in a while. What is up, everybody? We're going to be going over some motorcycle crashes, close calls. I haven't seen the video yet. This is going to be the video right here. And it's a MotoStars video. It literally just, I think it came out December 11th. So what is today? 12th. So it came out yesterday. And we're going to be going over close calls, crashes, whatever it is on there. I'll skip the road rage stuff because I think we all understand road rage is kind of dumb. So we won't be doing that. Oh, man. Just got back. Hey, what's up, Noel? How you doing? Let me get the chat back up real quick. Let's see. Plus, I only car accident. Okay, slid into a tree. Ooh. Scott, Firefly, Noel, not complicit. How you doing? James Wiley, how you doing? So we're gonna be going over some crash stuff. This is also a great opportunity to just ask questions. You know, whatever it is. You know, about YouTube, starting your own channel, motorcycle crashes, what type of training you should get, where to get it. I'll answer to the best of my abilities. But the main thing that we're doing here is that we're literally just doing this live. Okay, so we're just doing the after action report stuff live. No editing. I'm going to try my best to make it super quick so we're not talking all the time. And we're just kind of focused on what we're doing. But I would like it if you could do your own version of an after action report. I mean, if you want, you could straight up just mute the video, watch the video, and then point out some certain things yourself. So the Yamaha TW200, dude, I want one. That's what I think about Yamaha TWs. I absolutely want one. I think they're badass and they're fun. I think they're fun. You're gonna enjoy it. You're absolutely gonna enjoy it. I don't know why you picked the bike I wanted. That's an easy answer. Give me something better. So let's go ahead and move on over here real quick. Okay. Perfect. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna switch screens real quick. Brian Torres, watching your videos made me more cautious rider. That's all I care about, guys. That's all I care about. As long as you get the reality, I'm gonna give you guys the dose of reality here. I'm gonna tell you about situational awareness. I'm gonna teach you about you know, what to do, how to do it. But I will also point you to other people to do it. I mean, if you want to take a class, please take a class. There's nothing that is better than taking a class. Watching me on YouTube is one thing, but you need to take a class, guys. I have nothing against classes. I don't know why some people are saying that. I have nothing against classes. I'm going to keep taking them. But I believe the fundamental skills and hazard perception, situational awareness are the things you need. So, and you'll notice above the chat, it'll say ridearizonamtc.com. That's the place to do it if you're in Arizona. All right? So let's see. Let's go ahead and jump into this one. I haven't seen it yet, guys. I haven't seen these videos yet. Oh. What? Bellissimo, how you doing? Wow, I don't... Now, the bottom of the screen isn't really cut off. Let me go ahead and... Let me do that. Oh, Tiger, thank you for becoming a patron. Guys, he became here. I don't know who he or she, I have to look it up. But thank you for becoming a patron at 455. Thank you so much. So we're going to rewatch that again because what the heck happened? It looks like he got hit by another biker. Looks like he got hit by another motorcyclist. Let's go frame by frame. What happened there? Immediately got hit. So there's another motor. Oh, he got hit by... That doesn't explain. Okay, so it looks like he just fell off. Oh! There we are. Tien Vol Fisher, thank you so much. There it is for the super chat. Appreciate that, man. Look at your name. Well, name is right there. The most recent super chatter is gonna be right there. The top super chatter is gonna be right here, and then the newest YouTube member is gonna be right there. So look at that frame. Look at that frame right there. So this was a lane filtering crash. So the guy up front, this guy that right here, the one with the arm in the video, he decided to apply the brakes because maybe he didn't feel like he could make it, and he didn't feel like he could do it. The guy behind him wasn't paying attention enough and ran into him. So that is what happened here, but it's an angular hit, so he actually like hit him and then kind of bounced off and lost his control and possibly got injured very minorly during that part. But since he lost control and you're in a lane filtering situation, you have no left or right really. So since he hit him, he lost control. He ran into the back of this truck. That's what this is. It's his backpack right there. That's his backpack. That's his butt. And that's the tail section of the bike. And then that's a piece of his tire. That's his tire. That's his rear tire. So he hit that at speed. And that's where, once again, it doesn't matter if you have the best braking or swerving. If you're in that situation, your situational awareness should be in the orange stage, possibly the red stage at all times. So let's go back 5 seconds. Let's see what happens. So this is the lead up to it. Okay. So the guy that got hit from the back, the one with the camera, slowed down quite possibly because he felt like he couldn't make it. And then there's somebody behind him not paying attention and ran into him. So if we're going to be constantly talking about how car drivers aren't paying attention, guess what? This motorcyclist didn't pay attention. So it's humans, guys. It's humans that are not paying attention. There's his bike. Let's go back. There's his bike. It got launched over the median. It got launched over the median. So there's the impact. There's this guy. This guy's helmet hit him on the side. So he lost control. See how he lost control? And he's going to try his best to try to go through this escape route. But since he lost control, he's going too fast for the maneuver. So this shows this guy's going 20. But I mean, that could be, it's digital, so he could be going 40. But since he pulled in the clutch or something, it could change. But he got hit, and there he is. Look at that. There's the guy. Look at that. Now, this guy's bike with the, right here, this bike goes over the ledge. Did his helmet flew off. His helmet flew off. Or her helmet, I don't know. That's the shoulder impacting the guardrail. Your helmet doesn't fly off, guys. Your helmet doesn't fly off unless you don't strap it in. That's part of, guys, that's part of your T-clocks. If you want to do your own personal protective equipment T-clocks, you should be checking your gear. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Let's go back. I'm just trying to see if that was a passenger. Okay, that's the guy that got hit. Okay. Make sure you're strapped. Steven Harmon, thank you so much for becoming a patron. Appreciate it. Guys, if you didn't know, and I think a lot of you guys might have forgot, but if you become a $5 patron, you get your picture on the DDFM crew wall on ddfmcrew.com. So, you need to check your strap. Make sure it's in good working condition. Same thing with your gear. Same thing with, you know, everything. Everything that you do, you need to double check. As firefighters, we checked every single day, especially before we went to a fire. Thank you so much for the, check it out. I appreciate the super chat. Look at that. Boom, you're right there. We checked our gear. We checked the seams. We checked the stitching. We checked if we had our tools in there. We checked if our tools had batteries. We checked everything. And then we checked our buddies really quick, as quick as we can, but we look for the pertinent details of their gear before going into a fire. So it's not only about checking to make sure you have the appropriate skills, it's also about making sure that your gear is up to date and it's good. And right here, if you forget to strap your helmet in and you just go and get into a crash, it's going to fly off. Yeah, exactly. Ambulance check daily for both ambulances. So you have an ambulance check, a daily check, you have a weekly check, and then you have a monthly check. And then quite possibly you have a biannual or annual check too, to make sure that all the stuff is within code and it's not expired. So I mean, like, you constantly have to be checking to be sure you're 100% ready, and that's where I come from. And Scott, you've been here forever, man. Thank you so much for all the support. I think you know where I'm coming from when it comes to that, because you're in that position too. So you need to check your stuff before this happens, because guess what? The helmet flew off, but is the head just not going to hit this? Is the head not going to hit this guardrail? We don't know. But now your helmet flew off. What's it going to do to protect you? Nothing. You're going to hit your head on the guardrail. That's the helmet. That's the helmet. That's not the GoPro getting detached. That's the helmet. 13 years of EMS, so basically, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's public safety. We both have to be 100% ready at all times.
In this situation, we have a biker who reacts.
So this is annotated by MotoStars. So 1 second. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Too late and rear-ended the car directly in front of him.
What's up, Tommy? How you doing, man? Brake lights.
Je suis désolé. Non, ça a pilé.
So, remember when I said that almost 100%, I think it said 96% of motorcycle collisions involve the motorcyclist being the striking vehicle. Okay? This is exactly what's happening here. This is what's happening here. Jay Rogers, how you doing, man? Yep, Idaho's Deadpool, exactly. I'm glad you're doing good, Tommy. Glad you're doing good. Could have been a lot worse. Jonathan Crotch Party, yeah. What's up, Rick? So, right here, brake lights. So this is the moment. This is the absolute. Let's go back to the exact frame. Okay, no brake lights. Brake lights. This is the exact moment that you could use brake lights as a hazard clue. Is this far enough for you to stop? Look at the following distance. Is this far enough for you to stop? This is the moment that this is like the frame, 30 frames per second. So this is like 1/30th of a second. This is the moment you could perceive brake lights. Now, it takes about a second to react, and then it takes, depending on your skill level, a couple seconds or however many feet for that speed to stop. Is this enough stopping distance? It's not enough. I mean, it's every time I do streams, guys, I have to say that because there's like a delay. It's not enough stopping distance. It's not enough stopping distance. So what are your escape paths? Where can you go? Since you can't stop in time, you can slow down. That's perfect to slow down. So Christopher Goalie, swerve then brake. Yeah, that's an option. You can also brake and then swerve. Thomas, thanks, man. I appreciate the kind words. So you can swerve, then brake, or brake then swerve. If you brake and then swerve, you can buy yourself that option if you weren't paying attention. If you didn't check your mirrors, you can apply the brakes and then know that you need to swerve left or right. That'll give you maybe half a second to react more. Or you can swerve and then brake if you absolutely have to. Or swerve and then accelerate out of there, right? So he's got multiple options. Now, what's the best option here? So we're talking now we're talking about swerve. So what's the best option here? Do you want to swerve to the left or the right? Which way would you guys go? And there's no wrong answers here, because remember, this is an emergency. This is an emergency. There's only a better answer. There's only a better option in this situation. But, you know, if that option is taken up and you can't do it, you do the other one, right? Best option is to the right. Left is an option, but a poor one. Exactly. You got two options. Swerve right or swerve left? Which one would you rather go to? Which one will allow you to have less of a hazard after you pass the hazard? Let me go ahead and get out of Facebook. Which one? So if you swerve to the right, I mean, I know it's hard for you guys to see because of the compression and everything, but there's a white car way up ahead in this lane, okay? So now you have that secondary problem. But if you swerve to the left, you have oncoming traffic. You notice the arrow, the solid white line? So if you swerve to the left, you have possible traffic, head-on traffic. If you swerve to the right, you have traffic flowing in the same direction, but you quite possibly, you know, if it stopped, you could run into them. So either way, if you have to do some type of emergency swerve, if you have to, make sure you get back into a safe area. So it's not just like, oh, I swerved left, I'm fine. No, you have a potential hazard coming up. You swerve right, you're like, okay, I missed that hazard, I'm fine. I'm going to look back and flip the guy off. Guess what? You have something up front that you got to pay attention to. So this is where you really have to start doing that. And I know this is a paused frame. Guys, this is the whole point of these after action reports, is that this is a paused frame because this is an image you should look at, because this is something that typically happens to you while you're riding. This is a viewpoint of what you're doing when you're riding. So while we're looking at this, coming up with ideas, coming up with solutions, that's going to put that in your brain so that when you're out riding and somehow the brain will remember what we talked about and what we saw. And then if you're starting to think about it and process it and imagine yourself in that situation, it's going to be almost like training, but you have to constantly do it. I mean, we are training. It's not almost like training. We are training. We're training without having to put ourselves in that dangerous situation. Sorry if you guys are here. What? Okay, I'm getting out of... Yeah, I need to do that. I'm going to get out of it. All right. Keep getting notifications on Discord. By the way, guys, if you want to join the Discord, it's absolutely free. That's a good segue. It's absolutely free. We have 2,200 members in there, and everyone's just chit-chatting. It's going off in a second. Best way to submit a video to you, Rick, go to Discord. Private message me that, or email me at danaandthefireman928@gmail.com. So that's your option. So right now, that's when he saw it. So his hands, let's go back. So the moment the brake lights happen, I'm going to pause it. I just posted the link to the Discord in the chat. I'm going to pause it right when the brake lights happen. I'm going to let it play and then pause it again when he applies the brakes. Okay. So that's when I saw it. Now let's see when he sees it and then reacts. Now that's when he reacts. That's roughly a second. That's roughly a second. That's standard. That's typical for everybody, including myself. Professional racers might have like a quarter of a second or half a second off, which is crazy, but that you only have a second to react. So within that second, you made a decision to apply the brakes and the brakes only. This is why we train, guys. We don't want to put ourselves in that position to where we have to make crazy decisions in a half second. And I know you guys are writing a bunch of comments, and keep doing it. Keep doing it. I won't be able to answer every single one of them, okay? So if we talk about injuries, easily break a thumb. It's called skier's thumb, where you pretty much just smash it like that, and it just rips the tendons and ligaments. And then also your momentum keeps going forward and possibly impact your genitalia, and then possibly breaking your pelvis and have an open book fracture. That's why he's in pain right here. That right there is called tripoding. Okay? And that's to indicate that there's something wrong. That's the human's natural response to the shadow. That's the human's natural look and feel of, I'm in pain. Or something's wrong. So like if you have difficulty breathing after a long run, guess what? It's not normal. That's where we have a problem. And right there, so Christopher Goalie better be driving in lane position 1 or 3 to see possible hazards better in this situation. So if you're already, that's a great thing to say, man. So if you're already in lane position 1, which is going to be off a little bit to the left right here, or to the right is lane position 3, you just shortened your distance. You just shortened your distance to do some type of evasive maneuver. So if you're in lane position 3 already and you saw these brake lights, guess what? It's just a really quick flick of, not directional stereo, sorry, a quick flick of the handlebars and you're out of the way. So position yourself for success also. All right, let's go to the next one, guys. So she looked at her car first before checking on him. That kind of tells you who she is, just a little bit. We're gonna be focusing now. We're gonna do since we kind of got the idea of what we should do in emergency, swerve, brake, all that stuff. We're not gonna spend so much time on each video now. I want you guys to have that in your head for when we watch these next ones. Okay? Camera guy. Ooh. Low side. It's a low side. Oh, one second. Let me raise that up for you guys. The leaking air sound is from my airbag vest, which deployed. That is good. He's got at least ATGAT. He's got safety in terms of gear on his head. And he might have just made a mistake and low-sided. That happens, guys. It just happens. But when it happens, I'm sorry, I'm getting excited. Let's watch the full thing.
Me. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay.
So he says the airbag actually sits quite high or quite tight and it's hard to breathe. Wait, what kind is that? Oh. Sorry. All right, let's go back. Sorry, I got excited. I get excited. This is what I do when I watch videos and I go over it myself. That way I can I can pause it and I know what to talk about. So you're kind of getting a little sneak peek of what I'm doing here. So this was a low-sided accident. We're in a beautiful mountain area. So this is a U-turn type. So it's a full 180-degree type turn. I can't tell if it's decreasing radius. Here's the thing. Decreasing radius basically almost folds up back on itself. As long as the radius is constant, it's just a normal turn. It could be constant in a full 360. It could be just a circle, and it's a constant radius turn. A decreasing radius is when it kind of almost folds back on itself. Okay? So I don't know if this is decreasing radius. Either way, it's a sharp turn, so you have to take these turns slowly. If you try to take it quickly, you're going to have to use a lot of body positioning and a lot of lean angle. So it's best to take these turns a little bit slower. But when I pointed out the camera guy, maybe he's doing it so he can get pictures later on, so he can have a good look, you know, like a good picture of it. So that's when we start having problems. So he's gonna lose traction right about here. So he's going about, it looks like he's going about 46 kilometers an hour. Anybody want to turn that into miles per hour for me? So he's gonna crash, and it grabbed traction. He's gonna hit his head on the tire. But imagine going too fast in this turn. Let me go and go farther, sorry. So he's got the airbag going. 28 miles an hour, okay. Okay, so here's the view of the cliffside. Imagine if you're going any faster, or if it was just a normal 90-degree turn, and you're going fast, and you went off the edge. That's deadly. That's a deadly fall right there. So very lucky here. Very lucky. Now, is it the government's fault that the turn is like that? Is it the whoever keeps, you know, the road maintained, is that a problem? Or is it a problem of I I screwed up. My skills weren't there, at least at that moment. I made a mistake myself. I should have been able to handle that. I've handled it before. I screwed up. That's how we should start thinking. We messed up. Look how far the slide happened. So it happened in the almost at the end of the turn. And that's where the slide happened. Yeah, it's screwed up. That's all. But if you screw up, it could have deadly consequences.
Yeah, I'm okay.
The biker dodged one bullet, but he unfortunately could not cope with the scattered gravel.
Oh. Nope. Oh, high side. Oh, man. So when I'm on a turn, so Surius asks, when I'm on a turn, I try to lean and use professional method, but I get nervous and keep my head and chest straight instead of leaning, which makes the turn hard. Any advice? Keep practicing. So our bodies naturally don't want to lean. Like we have this natural instinct. If we start leaning over, we try to correct ourselves. So when you're leaning into that turn, you're trying to correct yourself. I'm curious where you learned how to do it. Just so I have a basis of what I can go off of. So he's going to hit gravel, and he's like, oh, man, that sucked. And he's going to kind of look back and then not really pay attention to what's ahead. So if you pass something, if you get past a hazard, don't focus on that hazard. Just understand you just passed that hazard. Whether it's a loss of traction, be like, oh, crap, that sucked. Now it's time to get back into the ride just in case something else happens, right? That's what you should be doing. So he doesn't. He's like, oh, man, that sucked. Well, and then he dwells on it and then doesn't see the hazard up ahead.
The biker dodged one bullet, but he unfortunately could not cope with the scattered gravel.
So that's the loss of traction. His rear tire lost traction right there. So now at that moment, you're like, oh, crap. You felt it, and now it's time to get back into the ride because we have a turn coming up. So why are we not focused on that turn? This turn right here is a hazard. We just luckily passed the hazard by losing a little bit of traction because of gravel, but now we're going to get into it again. See right there? It's like, why are we looking down? Look towards where you need to go. That's that moment he's like, oh crap, there's something up ahead. The turn is coming and the road is disappearing for me. That's that moment. That's that moment of, oh crap. You guys see that? Watch. So I'm gonna scroll down, or he's gonna look down. Sorry, he's gonna look down, and then he's gonna look up and be like, oh crap. There it is. There's the oh crap moment, because the road disappeared for him. And guess where he's going? All of this that he's getting into, where it connects to a side road, that's typically where a lot of gravel is, right? I mean, just you guys, if you went out today, if you got outside today and you went down the road and you just look on the side of the road, there's gravel. There's gravel going to be right here where there's that intersection. So now when he needs to use his traction to maintain his path of travel, he doesn't have enough because of gravel. And so that back tire is swinging back and forth trying to find gravel here. So this is right now a low side. So if he just laid it down, that's a low side. But what happened is those tires grabbed traction while they were sideways. His momentum launched him forward, and that's called a high side. And that's very dangerous because now you have higher impacts on top of the road rash. On a low side, you're going to have some impact, but it's mainly road rash until you hit something else. With a high side, it starts off with a massive impact. And then, yeah, 25 miles. No, that looks like 30 because it goes 20. It goes 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. So, yeah, 30. So, about 30 miles an hour right now. And then he's going to go up and over and then hit. So, let's go. So, it's going to grab traction. It just grabbed traction right now. He's got regular shoes. If you guys have the Nike, if you're a YouTube member, you get the Nike emoji. Let's get some Nike emojis in here. There we go. Make sure you guys wear your gear. So it grabbed traction and it launched him forward. That's his back hitting the ground. This is why you need to have a back protector. Yeah, he's probably braking. He's probably locked up that rear tire. Are they Vans? I need to get a Vans. Yeah, they're Vans. I need to get a Vans one. So really the only thing that he has is a helmet and gloves. And that's typical. That's typical for riders. Just helmet and gloves. Scorpion emoji? I should. Yeah. Oh.
Whoa, sorry.
So this happens to motorcyclists or even cars. It happens to car drivers all the time. I think my brother, when he was a teenager, I think he hit somebody doing this too. He was the guy, he was in a car. It was a very small fender bender. But here's the thing, this is a small fender bender, but what happened? Right? Yeah, of course it's the biker's fault. It's a small fender bender for a car. If these were two cars, it's a fender bender. If this was a car and the motorcycle up front, this could be life-threatening. This is still kind of life-threatening if you really think about it. So there's the impact. That's a fender bender for a car. So this is where it gets dangerous for motorcyclists. Okay, if you don't have a helmet on, if you don't have gear or anything, this bike landing on your leg can break your leg, shatter your ankle. And then if you hit your head on this curb right here, like because you kept falling, you hit your head on this curb without any gear, you could easily crack your head open. Or exactly, Jess, could have knocked him into traffic. So in a car, this is just a fender bender. In a car, you get hit. There's none of the car is going to crush your leg. None of the falling off the car and hitting your head on the curb. If you get knocked into traffic with a car, hopefully the other car sees you, starts applying the brakes, but still hits you. That you got airbags, right? So this is what I'm saying, is that motorcycling is just dangerous. And you have to be aware all the time. If somebody else makes a mistake and hits you, then make sure you have your gear at least. Look at that. Could have easily broken his arm too. Look at his leg could be shattered and trapped. His arm, his elbow hit the ground. If he didn't have armor in his arm, in his jacket, could have a fracture or some bruising. And then he could have hit his head on this curb.
Oh my God. Whoa, sorry.
Easily a snapped collarbone, easily. Oh, no, this is scaring me. Okay. Oh. Lost traction. Why do you think he lost traction? His rear tire lost traction, guys. Why do you think he lost traction on that rear tire?
Ever since he began to call.
We're going to go back and we'll replay it. I'm going to replay it. I want you guys to figure out why he lost traction with his rear tire. This is a somewhat easy one. But I want you guys to start thinking about this because I already see it in the chat. Too much throttle. He throttled into the turn. He lost traction because he wanted 150% out of 100. Exactly. So the fact that you guys are saying it, that's good because I want you guys to think about it because next time you're in a turn, what are you going to now think about? You're going to think about this video, right? You're in the middle of taking a left-handed turn. You're going to think about this video, why this guy crashed. I'm not going to do that. That's what I want you guys to think about. So let's watch it again. I'm going to increase the audio for you guys. I want you to hear the RPMs. Listen to the RPMs. was using his lean angle, so he had traction on his tires. He used a lot of traction to lean and turn, and then he used even more, too much throttle, which took away some traction from what he could do. And if you use too much traction, so you could think of it as a bank statement, he withdrew too much, and now since he has nothing left and he's taking away, there's a penalty for that. His penalty is loss of traction. Yeah, he parallel parked his bike. So that's a good question, since we're kind of like in a little segue. So Surya is from Sri Lanka. We don't get much training on these, so just learn from videos. My bike is a regular Honda, and I often worry the normal tires, not wide, will not let me lean. Well, here's the thing. Motorcycle tires. There's a reason why motorcycle tires are shaped the way they are. Okay, let's see if there's an image. Let's go to an image. Okay, let's just do this one. It's pretty simple. Open image, new tab. All right. So they're like this. The reason why the reason why they're shaped this way, whether they are wide or narrow, is that the reason why they're shaped concave like that. Okay. Concave, is that the right word? Probably not. The reason why they're shaped like that is because even with even with narrow or thick tires, you're still going to have some traction touching the ground. So don't worry about how narrow your tires are or how wide your tires are. In fact, the more narrow it is, the easier it is to turn. Now you start to do trade-offs with super crazy narrow with less traction, because if it's super wide, it takes a little bit more power to turn. Convex, okay. Convex, there you go. Concave, convex, I was probably messing those up. So the wider the tires, a little bit harder it is for you to actually turn because of how stable it pretty much creates itself for itself. These tires, with your normal tires, if they came with the Honda, you should be fine, okay? Trust those tires. You don't need to get wider tires. You'll have traction in the turn with those tires. Now, if you apply too much turning, then that's when you start running into traction problems, okay?
Ever since he began to corner, he was trying to control the bike, but he unfortunately failed.
These guys are going fast. Oh no. It's got gear though. Let's go back to that one. Let's rewatch that whole thing.
Ever since he began to corner, he was trying to control the bike, but he unfortunately failed.
Wow. Okay.
Ever since he began...
So he blurred it out, but here's one of the things. As an editor that knows how to blur a few things, if I just go one frame or two around, I get to see his speed. It wasn't tracked very well. The blurring wasn't tracked very well. 155 kilometers an hour. How fast is that? 155 kilometers an hour to miles per hour. He's going 96 miles per hour. So even at kilometers per hour, that's, oh my gosh. I noticed that. So these guys are going pretty fast into the turn. Now, this is why I got into the whole, what's the mindset of the rider? What's the training of the rider? How competent the rider is? Because mindset is a really big thing. Mindset really dictates how you use your training, when you use your training, and then the whole competency thing That's if you've practiced. You can't automatically be competent in your training just because you're out on the road right now. Competency comes with days, months, hours, whatever time unit you want to use of actual training. Practice makes permanent. Everyone says practice makes perfect. That is not true. Practice makes permanent. If you practice the wrong things over and over and over and over, you're going to be dang good at that. You're going to be really good at the bad stuff. If you are constantly practicing the correct, the perfect way of doing things, yeah, you'll become perfect with that, with more and more practice. But if you're constantly riding out here like this is the mindset, guys. If you're constantly riding with a group or even by yourself doing some crazy stuff, and you survive like 10 times, like you did it 10 times at this speed, you did this turn 10 times at this speed, there's a good chance you got lucky. And then you're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and then you're going to get complacent, and it's just going to be a problem. Yeah, this is a terrible road. So remember, guys, practice makes permanent. Practice makes permanent.
Began to corner, he was trying to control the bike, but he unfortunately failed.
That's way too fast. I don't even go 96 miles per hour on the interstate. I don't even do that. The max I've ever done on the interstate is 85. And my bike, I know from what I've heard, can go easily past 120. There's a rev limit. There's a limiter on the bike, my bike. I don't think so now because I got it tuned. But why? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do the speed limit. Yeah, I do it on the Autobahn. If I ever went to the Autobahn. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, the front brakes are dragging. Yeah, I'm good. Yes. Oh, yeah, nah, we're good. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, just as long as it didn't hit no vehicles, we're good. Yeah. You okay? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
So he said his front brake was dragging. Let's go back. So this is why you do your T-clocks, guys.
Front brakes dragging. Yeah, the front brakes dragging.
So the front brake's dragging. So as soon as you feel like one of your primary controls, or even any part of your bike, is not right, don't continue. Do your best to get off to the side of the road as safe as possible and do some investigative work. Yeah, you definitely didn't do T-clocks. And the thing is, guys, the T-clocks doesn't just end the moment you get on the bike. So you do your T-clocks, it's a pre-ride check, and now you're on the bike, and what? Now you don't have to worry about your bike for the rest of the ride? No. Once again, I'm going to go back to my training, is that we made sure all our gear was good. All our turnout gear, our SCBA, our helmet, all that stuff during our daily checks. The moment we get on shift, we checked our gear, our own personal protective equipment, we checked the EMS bags, and then we checked every single thing that we needed to check. Like as a firefighter, we checked something different than as the engineer and captain. So as a firefighter, we would check the tools that we would use, and we did that every day. So that was our T-clocks. That was our T-clocks. That was our pre-shift check. And then, let's say we go into a fire. We go into a fire, we do our stuff, we're doing all that stuff. We're constantly still checking to make sure our gear is doing well. We're constantly checking. I'm checking my SCBA, the regulator, and seeing where I'm at with how much. It's not. I was about to say O2. Dang, I'm getting out of. I've been out of the service for a while. I'm checking my air supply, seeing how much time I have left. You have to constantly be checking.
Okay. Yeah, the front brakes are dragging.
So front brakes dragging. So my thought is the front brakes were pressing on that rotor, and it basically just kind of, it either warped the rotor or it just grabbed. It finally just grabbed. And since it grabbed, it locked up and caused the dump of the bike.
Yeah, I'm good. Yes. Oh, yeah, nah, we're good. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, just as long as it didn't hit no vehicles, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh. Way too wide on that one.
Okay. I was too worried about that eye. And my freaking insole got pushed up. Oh, no, I broke my shoe. I broke my insole. Yeah.
That's a good lesson right there. So she broke her insole or she broke her shoe. So that shoe took the impact and she's able to stand on her foot. Guys, the protective gear worked. The protective gear worked. That would have been her foot. Her tarsals, her metatarsals, her phalanges, her ankle would have all been shattered if it wasn't for that boot. So I'll play that again. I'll put it at a higher volume for you guys. So here we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Marius.
I was too worried about that eye.
The effing guy. Okay, that's why she
my
blurred it.
Freaking insole got pushed up. Oh, no, I broke my shoe. I broke my insole. Yeah.
That's her shoe did the job. Her shoe did the job. That's why you wear gear, guys. And that's the thing. That slow, or not slow, but that minor, because a lot of you guys are probably thinking to yourself, that's a minor impact. But that minor impact broke a shoe. It broke her moto shoe, designed to be impacted. Add about 20 more miles an hour. What do you think is going to happen at 20 more miles an hour? So this is what I'm talking about, guys, is that if our mindset isn't right and we were trying to take these turns way faster, like a lot faster, because we're having ego drive how we ride, then it doesn't matter if you have gear on. You're going to break things. Yeah, she unzipped it. You're going to break things. So this is why mindset is big. This is why I believe mindset should be 50% of the class. And with mindset, you know, to get yourself in the right mindset, you need to understand the deaths and consequences of this. So let's go. I'll replay it for you guys.
Thank you.
That's a minor accident. Minor.
Okay. Okay. I was too worried about that guy.
So she unzipped it right there.
And my freaking insole got pushed up. Oh, no.
So, Simon, when checking your equipment, do you check your own mindset? Yes, I do. That's part of it. Guys, we choose to be on the bike. We choose when and where we go on the bike. So since we choose to do that, we don't have to, then yeah, if you don't feel like you're in the right mindset, don't ride. Or give yourself some time and figure out why you're not in the right mindset. Do some good mental gymnastics if you absolutely have to. Get yourself in the right mindset and then start riding. As firefighters, police officers, anybody that has to do stuff that puts themselves in danger to protect and serve others, you don't have that luxury of I'm not in the right mood, I'm not gonna do it. You better get yourself in that right mood. So if you put yourself in the right mindset before you get on the ride, that's great. Just like the T-clocks and pre-ride check, it changes even while you're in the ride itself. So if during the ride all of a sudden you hear something weird on your bike, pull over. If while you're in the middle of the ride and you notice that you just went 3 miles without even paying attention, you have no idea how you got there, then let's pull over or get ourselves back in that right mindset. That happens. It happened to me last week. I was riding, and before I knew it, 3 miles went by. I'm like, holy crap, if something happened within those 3 miles, I would have been in a lot of trouble. I was doing the speed limit, I was doing everything. My training kicked in and pretty much did what it needed to do to keep going straight. But man, if something came out of nowhere, I would have probably hit someone. And that's just the way it is. You have to get yourself back in that right mindset.
Oh, I broke my shoe. I broke my insole. Yeah.
Jess, that'd be fun, man. I didn't mute it. I think he's cussing the whole time.
Speed was probably the fault, but fortunately the biker didn't lose his humor after this fall.
He broke his lever.
Whoopsie.
So he turned his bike around on the kickstand. It's a really cool skill to have. All right.
Insole. Yeah.
Just a little too fast. That's all that is. A little too fast, too much lean angle. 30, 31 miles an hour. Glenwood Estates. How much you guys want to bet that he lives in this neighborhood? He lives in Glenwood Estates. That's what that sign says. That's what that sign says right there. How much you want to bet he lives there and was like, I've taken this turn 100 times. I want to get home. I'm sick and tired of riding right now. I'm tired. And not really thinking about it. See you later, Lion. I mean, how much you want to bet that's what happened? So that's where I start diving into that mindset of, you know, how did this crash? Because he probably has the skill to do it. So why did he crash? My volume, like my vocal volume. It's just that's where I get the mindset. So he muted that. It wasn't me.
Speed was probably the fault, but fortunately the biker didn't lose his humor after this fall.
See you later, James. Oh. Wheelie problem. Look at the bike. Look at the bike. Look at the bike. So this was a wheelie problem. So he's in the middle of a wheelie. So is that guy. So is that guy. So he failed in his skill, just like how you can fail in your skill of braking. He failed in his skill of doing a wheelie. So when people ask me, you know, why do I show these hooligans? Why do I show people, you know, riding their Harleys on the sidewalk and hitting a light pole? It's pretty obvious, you know, what happened. It's pretty obvious the reason why this guy crashed is because he did a wheelie, right? Sometimes it's obvious that the guy crashes because he applied too much front brake. It's obvious, but what can we take? There's a reason why I chose that video, and what we can take from this video specifically is that watch the bike. The bike it's trying to correct itself automatically. The bike is trying to stay upright. So think about that when you're riding. The bike wants to stay upright. The bike wants to stay upright, with or without you. Understand that. Look at that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It was at this moment he knew. He...
Those knees. His pelvis. Ay. So another failure of a skill. Whether it's an appropriate skill or not, it's still a failure of a skill. And when that happens, this is why I talk about, I don't talk about how to do wheelies right. I talk about how to do U-turns. I talk about how to do figure eights for a purpose. There's a purpose between that. I talk about braking, swerving, and the stuff that you need for a reason. I choose not to talk about how to do a wheelie correctly because I don't care to do one correctly, because I don't care to do a wheelie. I really don't. So I'm not going to learn it. I don't need that tool in my toolbox. So what I see when it comes to something like this is I look at injuries. There's no gear other than helmet and gloves. And he's got his foot planted. When you have your foot planted and the motion still keeps going, guess what? You're going to snap your leg off. Or snap your foot and ankle. So he's going to do that. Luckily it slides. But look at his knees. So his right knee, immediate impact. Why do you think there's armor on our knees? Now he's got his left knee impact. So now his legs are going to be spread apart traumatically. That's easily going to rip tendons and ligaments and muscles and veins and nerves and quite possibly break and dislocate. That's huge. So a little bit more. So that's a massive impact to the knees. And now we got impacts to the hands, chest, stomach, shoulder, collarbone, face. Luckily, he had a helmet on because now he would have impacts to the face. And if it's severe enough, he can't breathe. He scorpioned that one. So how well did these... I think these are white jeans. Yeah, how well did these normal consumer jeans hold up? Greg, I also find it very unsettling, but I choose to do this so that we can learn from it. If you kind of scroll back and when it immediately happened, you'll notice I turned my head, but it's like I have to talk about it because this is the reality. Guys, this is the reality. It's unsettling, right? It's unsettling. It should be unsettling. It should be unsettling. Does this not make you want to buy gear? Does this make you not want to do a wheelie? If this makes it to where you don't want to ride, then that's fine. If you still want to ride after watching these videos, then get some training. Now you understand how dangerous this is. Now, some of these are obvious. You know, he put himself in that situation by doing a wheelie. But some of these crashes are happening out on the street, like normal. Oh, yeah. So how cool is he now? How cool is he now? Eyes to the front, everybody. Eyes to the front. Pay attention. So he's like, "Aw, yeah." Let me play that back with better audio. He's like, "Aw, yeah." Listen to it with audio.
Oh, yeah.
Awkward moment. It's actually his sister. Guys, I grew up on the internet. Those types of things make me laugh. Public safety personnel, police, fire, EMS have the craziest sense of humor, and I love it. This could be, and I talk about this tomorrow in tomorrow's video, or not tomorrow's video, Saturday's video. I talk about it in Saturday's video. Is that things that will distract you. He's situationally aware that there's women on the side of the road, right? It distracted him from being situationally aware of the car stopping in front of him. Take a look at this right now. Just this frame. Can you already tell that the car in front of him has to stop? Take a look at it. Take a look at just this frame. Do you think he has an unobstructed path of travel once he makes this turn? So now let's take this video. We laughed at it. You know, it was kind of funny. You know, he's like, "Oh yeah," to girls, and he crashed in front of them. It's embarrassing. But now let's take what we can learn from it. See the row of cars? You guys see the row of cars after the turn? Don't you think that's going to cause a problem? Aren't you supposed to be looking through the turn? And part of looking through the turn is seeing if there's a hazard. I think everyone's guilty of this. I look at dogs on the side of the road. I love doggos. I love to see what kind of dog it is, how big, small, if they have the appropriate harness on. I love doggos. Look at that. We have a row of cars. We have a row of cars, and we don't even assume that I guess he assumed that he can keep going. Looking good in my suspenders. Look at, we have a blue car, this silver SUV, an SUV being obstructed by the women he's looking at. We have this black car. He's gonna have to stop. So, don't look at the pixelated women. Look right here. Look right here. Look at this row of vehicles. Look at the row of vehicles. Exactly, guys. Situational awareness. You only use kid named Cuddy. Yeah, I bet your dad has some crazy sense of humor. He'd be fun to talk to. Look at this. Right there. Guys, this is why we need to focus on what's important when we ride.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll play it one more time for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever wondered what can happen when the winter gets you by surprise on a motorcycle, check this out.
It says full of regrets.
Sorry, man.
So that's his camera that was fogged up. That's his camera. What do you think is happening to his visor? Lord Mormiger. Hopefully I said that right, dude. Thank you so much. Greetings from Greece. Dude, I would love to go visit Greece someday. Wrong weather, wrong tires, maybe wrong vehicle. There's a time and place to ride, guys. There is a time and place to ride. They do make snow tires. Yes, they do. They make snow tires and all the other stuff for motorcycles also. But there's a time and place to ride. There really is. So this car is having trouble. This car is having trouble with 4 tires. It might not be all-wheel drive, but I mean, it's got stability, right? I mean, if anything, it's just gonna slide. With a bike, you're gonna fall. So yeah, so maybe his bike is his only form of transportation. And if that's the case, guys, if you're living in an area that this happens every winter, maybe it's time not to have a bike. If you live in an area with this type of winter that happens all the time, maybe you shouldn't buy a bike. You should buy so the stream will remain. So if you want to watch the full stream afterwards, it might be a little weird because we're not live. But yeah, if you're in an area and this is what happens, maybe buy a car or a truck first, and then if you have extra income, buy a bike. It's just too dangerous to be out there like this. Hi from Russia. Hey, man. So that's what I'm talking about. But here's the cool thing. He's thinking right there. He put the side stand down. So he's going to put the side stand down before lifting the bike. A lot of people don't think about that. It's a common mistake. So guys, I typically do these live streams for about 1 hour. I'm going to be doing them on Thursdays. Okay, I'm going to be doing them on Thursdays. I'm going to see if I can get back to Tuesday, Thursdays. But here's the thing. I have a second channel. It's called After the Ride. After the Ride, I do, if you saw yesterday's video, it's basically what I do there. But I typically just do opinions. I don't get all amped up like I did yesterday. So if you want to subscribe to After the Ride, that would be great. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers on that podcast channel. So swing on by that, okay? Please do so. Subscribe to that. We also have a Discord. Discord server. It has 2,200 members. It's absolutely free, and it's a great place to meet others, and it's a great place to get some information. So there's also that right there. So if you want to be a part of the Discord, please do that. Click that link, and this is what the Discord looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and put, so it has emojis. It's on desktop, and it's also on your phone. There we go. So if you're on Discord right now, say hi. Look at Dan is here. Cheers, love. Dan is here. Also, let me scroll up just a little bit. Look at these guys were chatting away. So when you super chat, everybody in Discord knows that you super chatted. Everybody knows you super chatted. Automatic. So let me go back down. Look at it. Hey, look at that. So Black Dragoon. Can't even read that GIF. Or it's called GIF. It's a GIF. But I think everybody knows it's a GIF. Francisco, Rosemary, see you guys later. Look at that. Who's eating with me? I need to eat. I need to eat something. Look at that. We got a helmet. Perfect. And he's got his bike right there. Yeah, I think that's your bike. I know you probably set it up that way. Eating at Subway. Brandy Richmond, how you doing? Welcome. How you welcome? Oh, see, look at it. Leveled up. Look at all these streams. Oh, there's another stream. Look at, you can also level up. So we have levels and stuff. We also have, I'm going to swing us by This right here is the crew lounge. So if you're a patron or YouTube member, you get access to the crew lounge. So we got a separate lounge just for crew members. So if you're a patron, that you get that also. The Vulcan S is a great bike, Mike. I have nothing to complain about that. That is a great bike. If it's expensive over there, so yeah, exactly what Rosemary said. You might be able to find it as a used bike. Rebel 500s are awesome too. Maybe you can find a Rebel 500. I have a Rebel 500 and I absolutely love it. Aw, he's taking a nap. Taking a nap. Thank you everybody that super chatted, became patrons, became members during all of this. I absolutely bless you guys. Bless you. Thank you for blessing me.